Hi, I'm Caren with Texas Farmstead Living.
Mr. Rueffer and I hope to inspire, educate, and encourage you on your journey into living a healthy, fulfilling life. Over 20 years ago, when my 5 children and I moved from the city to the country, my goal was to produce everything we needed to live. Now 20 years later, we garden year-round, we raise chickens for meat and eggs, and one of my favorite things is we raise grass-fed genetic beef cattle for all of our beef, and we raise Jersey dairy cows for all of our handcrafted dairy products. Each week we create a video that will feature our recipes, how-tos, and seasonal tips that will help you on your homesteading journey.
Tune in and subscribe to Texas Farmstead Living on YouTube or check out our blog at texasfarmsteadliving.com. Today is March the 13th and we are planting potatoes today. We're in the Texas Hill Country. We just are getting over the Texas winter storm. Our original potato plant date is Valentine's Day, so we're a little late, but a big organic farmer gave us lots of crates of seed potatoes. We're so blessed to have that. So Mr. Rueffer, even though it's kind of misty today, he's been getting this space ready. We did plow, even though we are no-till at our wheat farm, but we live about 3 hours from our wheat farm and we don't have a no-till here. Before we get started planting our potato field, I want to share with you my old-fashioned way of getting potatoes ready to plant. I usually quarter the potatoes and I make sure there's at least 1 to 2 eyes on each section. And then I roll those pieces in ashes. And then I will set them aside on a paper sack in the shade or under a tree and let them dry for a day or two before I plant them. This is believed to prevent the potatoes from rotting. And I've always done this for 20 years and it's worked great. Now, my mother-in-law is almost 90 years old and has always gardened and will garden this year. She says that she kept her potatoes under her house about a week or two before she was ready to plant. She would bring them into the house and let them warm up and let them sprout eyes. The potatoes that we prepared with ashes, I'm planting in my screen garden house, and you'll see this garden house on a lot of videos. So now we're going to look at the 4 varieties that are actually organic seed potatoes from a large farmer. And the first thing when you're going to garden is you want to make sure your soil biology is at its best. It is your growing soil, actually, not plants. So we did this by the last 3 years. We've planted green peas, which are nitrogen fixers, and they're also companion plants to potatoes. So you want to make sure that you're planting companions, not antagonists, and you want to make sure you're always rotating your crop. So Mr. Rueffer is he's making furrows with the tractor about 4 inches deep. And if you see that pea stubble, we never, remove that. We just let that add organic matter to our soil. So Mr. Rueffer is spacing, he's just throwing the potatoes out maybe about 12 inches apart and maybe a little less if you're going to harvest them really young and small, which we're going to do a lot of that. So ours are a little bit closer together and our rows are about 3 feet apart. And make sure you put up little signs that say the different varieties so you don't get things mixed up. So next, he is going to just lightly cover these sprouted potatoes with about 2 inches of soil. And we're going to leave them and let them start growing. And when we see some growth, some green, we'll come back and add the additional 2 inches of soil. Now, if you live in a different garden zone, we are garden zone 8A. You might have to plant your potatoes in mounds if you live in a more, higher rainfall area. We are at semi-arid rainfall, so we plant down in the furrow. So if you'll notice that the potato, rows are on an incline, and that works out great because our windmill is in close proximity to this potato field. And our windmill will be watering this field with gravity flow using rainbird drip irrigation. The holes are about every 18 inches, but it really does a fantastic job. We've used this for our cream peas rows also. So he just, puts them down in the furrow with the potatoes, make sure all the connections are on the upside of the incline, and this has really worked great. And then there's a water hose that connects the windmill that we can move around and change each one of the connections. That windmill also feeds this 4-tiered concrete tower which gravity flows the house. So here's Mr. Rueffer. He is changing the water. He has double connections. He's going to move it over and irrigate, and he doesn't do this but maybe every other day. But we have found using gravity flow, of course, we are really into self-sufficiency and self-reliance, and we really, strive for off-grid living, and this has really worked out great for us. But okay, I want to show you how Mr. Rueffer turns the windmill on and off. It's really quite remarkable. Okay, the windmill's released, and it's a windy day here in the Texas Hill Country, and look, it's already going, and it pumps a lot of water fast. Okay, we have our wine grapes on the left right there, but so now he's going to shut the windmill down, and if you'll watch how the tail just closes against the blade. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day, and I hope you'll plant potatoes because they are a very nutritious, complete food, and they store really well.